Hi, Shane here. You're watching Sam for God, and this is Mark. Check her out.
So hi guys, how are you doing? As you guys know, I'm a huge Disney fan and I love pretty much every single Disney movie that's ever been released. But today I thought I'd tell you about my top 5, yes, my actual top 5 favourite Disney films of all time. And when I say that, I literally mean anything Disney. That includes animated films, Pixar films, live action films, absolutely anything. So that's a lot of movies, like that's so many films and so many good ones. Like I honestly don't think there's been a single Disney film that I've ever watched that I've hated. There's been some that I've thought, I'm not too sure about them, they're okay. But I've never really hated a Disney film, so it was hard to pick a top 5. But I have, and I want to share them with you because I love my top 5 favourite Disney films, and yeah, let's go. Actually, hold on a minute. Before I get to my top 5, I want to give a shout out to 2 of my other favourite Disney films that didn't quite make it into the top 5 list, but I still love them very, very dearly, so they're my honourable mentions, if you like. So my first honourable mention is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the first ever Disney animated movie made, and one of my favourites growing up. I vividly remember being a child and watching this on TV on a VHS, and it just brings back a lot of childhood memories for me, so I think because of that it has a very special place in my heart. It's also just a great film. Like, I love Snow White, she's probably one of my favourite Disney princesses, and the songs in Snow White, the animation, you know, considering it was done such a long time ago, it's just great, so it deserved an honourable mention. The next Disney film that I want to mention that didn't quite make it into my top 5 is Monsters Inc. Now again, this film I love so much that it nearly did make it into my top 5, but it just happened that the other one that I chose just is a little bit more special to me. But Monsters Inc. is just an amazing film. Like, it's one of those Disney films that I can watch over and over again and not get tired of, and laugh every single time and cry every single time and just find it entertaining every single time. So yeah, these 2 films would have been my number 6 and 7 basically. But anyway, now let's get to my actual top 5. My number 5 favourite Disney film of all time is The Lion King, and I've got baby Simba here with me just because he's too cute and I wanted to show him to you. But yes, The Lion King, the film, just means a lot to me because it was the first film ever that made me cry, like full on cry, and I vividly remember again being a child and watching it and tears running down my face and me thinking, whoa, what is this? I'm crying over a film. And you know, Mufasa's death, basically, you've all seen Lion King. There's no reason for me to put a spoiler alert. Yeah, Mufasa's death is just something that I think hits everyone hard. Like, even as a child, I was just like, this is too painful, and I was crying, and every single time I watched it, it made me sad. And I mean, the music for Lion King is incredible. Some of the best songs ever, one of the best scores. The Lion King itself is just really nicely animated. Simba, the characters, Timon and Pumbaa, Zazu, Scar, one of the best Disney villains ever. It's just a great film, and it has to be in my top 5 favourite Disney films of all time. Now at number 4, I've put Tarzan, and because I don't actually have the Tarzan DVD with me at the moment, I'm going to show you this instead, which is a nice doll of Jane, a character from Tarzan. You must know her, she's awesome, and Tarzan's an amazing film, and this I absolutely love. I'm going to take her out of the box at some point. But yeah, Tarzan is just a great film. It's one of those Disney films that, again, it makes me feel sad and makes me feel happy. I mean, pretty much all the Disney films are like that, but I really like the message of Tarzan, and just I think it's really nicely animated. The characters are great. Tarzan himself, Jane, Carla, Turk, everyone, and of course the soundtrack for it, the music is sublime. Like, it's one of the best Disney soundtracks of all time. Phil Collins is a legend, and because of that, you know, the music for Tarzan really makes the film, I think. I remember when it first came out in like 1999, I went to the cinema to watch it twice, once in English and once in French, because we were in Switzerland and went as a family, and the first time I think I watched it in French or something, because it was me, my mum and dad, my brother, and like my cousin and her family and stuff, my uncle basically, and they all kind of speak French, so we went to see it in French and loved it. And then my brother is probably the only person in my family who, actually no, my mum doesn't really speak French either. The only people in my family who speak French are me and my dad, so because we wanted my brother to properly get to experience it as well, we went again and saw it in English. And yeah, I mean, I just love it. And even when it came out on VHS, we got it and we watched it a lot, me and my brother, and it's still one of those Disney films that always makes me smile, and I can always like watch and enjoy no matter what mood I'm in. It's one of those good ones, basically. Okay, so my 3rd favourite Disney film of all time is Pocahontas. Now, so many people, I can imagine, are going to be leaving comments right now saying, oh, but Pocahontas isn't historically accurate and Disney have just completely ruined what Pocahontas' history was all about and stuff like that. Well, guess what? I really don't care. For me, Pocahontas is not about it being historically accurate or anything like that. It's about the message of it and what it teaches people watching the film. And I mean, honestly, who cares if the real Pocahontas was like a few years younger than the Pocahontas depicted in the film? Or if some of the things that happened in the film didn't actually happen or whatever. It doesn't matter. Disney were inspired by Pocahontas' story to make this film and they did a great job. They Disneyfied it, but that's absolutely fine because that's what Disney do. They're Disney, so of course they're going to Disneyfy things. And I mean, Pocahontas is just a very, very special film to me because, again, it came out when I was a child, you know, growing up. I absolutely loved it. I had a Pocahontas doll that I took everywhere with me. She was my favorite character, my favorite princess, and yeah, the songs for it, again, the score for Pocahontas is one of the best scores ever written, not even just for Disney, just generally. I think Colors of the Wind is probably my favorite Disney song ever. In fact, it's my favorite Disney song of all time, and it's mainly because, I mean, the music for Colors of the Wind is amazing, but the lyrics of the Colors of the Wind is what I think really gets me. I honestly can't listen to the Colors of the Wind and not cry. Every single time I listen to it, I cry. I get emotional because I just think it's a very, very powerful song, and the animation for it is great. Miko is awesome. John Smith is probably the only character in this film that I don't think was necessarily animated in the best way. Like, I don't know, I just look at Pocahontas and I'm like, wow, she looks amazing. I know, you know, the people who drew her and stuff for the animation did an amazing job. She just looks great, the animation's great. But then I look at John Smith and I'm like, I'm not quite sure, but I still love John Smith as well. I mean, I just love the fact that he's willing to change because of Pocahontas, and I love Pocahontas' character because of what she teaches to people. To not judge people and to respect everybody and treat everyone equally, no matter where they come from, what their religion is, and I just think it's a really, really good story. Now, my second favourite Disney film of all time, and this film again means a lot to me, of course, that's why it's my second favourite Disney film, is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. The DVD case for this is actually broken, as you can see, probably because I've just watched it so many times, I don't know. Also, sorry about the noise outside, cars and stuff. But yeah, The Hunchback of Notre Dame came out when I was, I think, about 6 years old, and I was living in Switzerland at the time, in the French part of Switzerland, and it was a big deal. I mean, I think it was a big deal everywhere. The fact that they'd made a film, Disney had made a film about the Notre Dame, and they'd animated the whole of Notre Dame, and they did such a beautiful job. Like, the animation in this film is gorgeous, considering it was done like, what, 15-20 years ago. It's just beautiful. It still amazes me when I watch it, and I mean, the characters are great, you know, you really feel for Quasimodo, and Esmeralda is awesome. And I'm probably in the minority, but I actually really like these characters as well. The gargoyles, or whatever they're called. Victor Hugo, I think, which I think is really cool because it was, you know, Hunchback of Notre Dame was written by Victor Hugo, and one of them's called Victor, one of them's called Hugo. They're all just, I don't mind them, I think they're quite funny. Whereas I've heard some people say they're quite annoying and they don't see the point of them. Clopin is a great character in this film, and Frollo, I mean, talk about a villain. That's what I like in a villain. He's just like a full-on mean, terrible person, and I love that about him. But of course, more than anything, what I love about this film is its score. I honestly think the score for Hunchback of Notre Dame is one of the best scores written ever in the history of music. Is that a big thing to say? I don't know, but it's true. It's how I feel about the music for it. I mean, the Bells of Notre Dame itself, which is the opening song for this film, what a great opening, like, wow. Again, the lyrics in that song as well, the music is just so powerful. It really gets me every time I hear it. But the lyrics again as well are so clever. Like, if you've not listened to it properly, please go and watch it. It might even be on YouTube if you just watch the whole song. Just watch that song and listen to the lyrics and let yourself like embrace the music and stuff, and you literally almost feel like you're in a cathedral yourself. And I think that's what I really like about the music for Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's very atmospheric. It really like takes you to a different world. I mean, the Bells of Notre Dame is just one of those songs that it just moves me. It really, really does. And the lyrics of it, again, great. They're great at foreshadowing things and stuff about the characters. And again, you have to listen to it carefully, but if you do, you just think, wow. And I mean, that's not even the only good song in the film. There's so many, like, Out There is a good one. There's a variety of songs as well. Like, the Bells of Notre Dame is very, like, cathedral-y and churchy, but then you've got Out There, and that's just a really good ballad kind of song, very Disney. And then you've got Hellfire, which probably the best Disney villain song of all time. And then you've got God Save the Outcasts, which Esmeralda sings. Again, great song. Topsy Turvy is a fun song. Like, it's such a fun song. I listen to that whenever I'm in a bad mood, or like, I just want to, you know, be cheered up and stuff. It just always makes me happy. And again, with Hunchback of Notre Dame, I just have some really great memories with Hunchback of Notre Dame from my childhood. Whenever I listen to any Hunchback of Notre Dame song, especially if it's Topsy Turvy or The Bells of Notre Dame, it immediately takes me back to one of my trips to Disneyland Paris when I was about 6 years old with my family, and they made a huge deal in Disneyland Paris about this new film because obviously Disneyland Paris, Notre Dame. So, you know, they had a full-on parade with like Esmeralda and Quasimodo and everyone. Clopin was in the parade. It was such a cool parade. I'm sure you can look it up on YouTube again, I think. And just everything. It was just, the whole of Disneyland Paris was very much in tune with the Hunchback of Notre Dame that year, and I love it because it just takes me back to it, and it's just great memories. So yeah guys, we're finally about to get to my #1 favorite Disney film of all time. A lot of you have probably already guessed it, but if you haven't, I'm going to talk to you about it because I never get bored of talking about this film, and that film is Toy Story 1. Oh, this film is just, it's a work of art. It's genius. I can't explain to you how much I love this film. It's a film that I'm basically always in the mood to watch this film, and that's very rare for me because I tend to, you know, with films and stuff, you know, even if I like a film, I'd watch it once and then I'm like, oh, you know, I don't necessarily feel the need to watch it again. But this film I can watch over and over and over again and love it every single time, and laugh at stuff every single time, at the jokes, and cry and be amazed by everything. Like, it's the first CGI film ever made, feature film, and I think that itself is amazing. Like, wow, I respect everyone who worked on this film. I just think it's such a good film. Woody and Buzz are two of the best characters ever created. Their chemistry is awesome. Oh, it's just the jokes, everything in this film just makes me happy, basically. I'm actually going to make a video talking all about my love for Toy Story and stuff very soon, so look out for that. But yeah, this was my #1, and it holds a very special place in my heart, and I just love it. But that's it guys, those were my top 5 favorite Disney films of all time. One thing that you would have realized probably from my list is that basically every single film that I mentioned was made and released in the 90s, so in the Renaissance era of Disney. And that's not coincidental really, because that's when I was born. I was born in 1990, and I grew up with this film, so they all mean something to me, and you know, they take me back to my childhood, and I used to love them as a child, so I kind of grew up with them, and so they still are my favorite films, I guess, when it comes to Disney. You also probably would have realized that I didn't include any live action Disney films, and that's not because I don't like live action Disney films. There are a lot of live action Disney films that I really like, but again, when it comes to animated films, you know, you can't compare to them. Disney's always going to be the animations for me. I always prefer the animated films, and you know, whether it's CGI or hand-drawn, they're always going to be more special to me than the live action ones. But yeah guys, that was it. That was my top 5 Disney films of all time. Please leave comments down below and let me know yours, because I had a hard time picking these, to be honest. It wasn't very easy, and there are so many other Disney films that I really love as well, but obviously I just couldn't include them because these are my top 5. My absolute favorite Disney films, basically. That doesn't mean I don't like the other ones, I just prefer these ones. But yeah, I'd be very interested to hear about your list, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Keep subscribed for more videos on Disney and Disneyland Paris and vlogs and theatre, and I hope you have a great day. I'll see you next time guys. Bye!